knows who you are and where you want to go. Showing up for the people you love, for your life, for your co-workers, for yourself even. You have to show up to become better than best. When you show up, you are investing time in yourself. And in life, it's all about showing up. Become the best you. You have to show up to become the best you. You have to show up for yourself. We agree with that? Then if we agree with that, let's jump. Let me give you a quick recap what we're going to do today, very fast. What I'm sharing with you today is how we gain fear and make everything possible. I'm going to tell you some stories, real stories about myself and how I could gain fear and how I could make everything, how in my mind I can make everything possible. The second one, playful out, that I learned from Les Brown and I learned from Andy Enriquez. I believe that everybody heard about them. And the third one is live your greatest potential, how you live it to be able to become the best you. And finally, become the best you, like a recap and highlight of the PDF interactive that I'm going to send you at the end of the session. Then you can fill it up yourself and you can do it at home when you have time to do it. Hopefully you have time now to do it today. Okay. Before I start, if you see, I have a strange haircut because I'm now in Cap Cana in Dominican Republic, and my hair was like this yesterday. And my friend Carlos, I said, he watched the movie Zohan. I said, I will cut your hair. And let me show you what he did for me. He cut my hair. That's what he did for me. That's the way he cut my hair, and that's a small way. A small way of cutting my hair. That's why I have my hair very messy. Now, let me ask you a question before we start. Why do you think it's important to become the best you? Let me give you 2 minutes. You can speak it or you can write it down. We are a small group. You can speak if you want. Why do you think it's important to become the best you? Why? Let me put the question on screen. Nobody is answering why.
I'm going to go first. I'm going to jump in. In life, we have to evaluate, and we need to make sure that we become a better person and that we can improve some of our personality trends or aptitudes or the way we see life. So I see it like that.
Okay. I saw here, Kim, you put as well peace of mind. What else? What else can I hear from you guys?
I think it's also because we were put on the earth to fulfill our full potential, and that there's something inside of us that is yearning to show up every day. And so every day the goal is to try and do something that will bring us to our highest potential, and that you feel that your life is life well lived.
Perfect. Finding our highest potential that we need every one of us. Everyone we want to be happy. We want to be today we want to feel safe, not only to be happy. We want to feel safe before being happy. Otherwise, we're not happy. Everybody's stuck at home. Great, it's amazing. And Martina, to go further with our dream and life plan. That's it. That's what we need. Exactly. It's become the best you. Is finding a way to win in life. That's the definition. Is finding a way to win in life. How you find a way to win in life. And let me go with the first topic. Gain fear and make everything possible. A long time ago, gaining fear is one of the most difficult things to do. Do you agree with that, everybody? We have fears every day, in the morning, in the afternoon. Today we have a big fear about what's going on in the world. Now, if I ask you how you gain fear, how you can answer that question? How you can answer how you gain fear? And I'll tell you a story after. I would like to hear from you how you gain fear.
The question, how you gain fear, how you become fearful?
Yes, how you go above and beyond fear, how you how you win your fears. How you win your fears.
I think fear is an illusion. I think fear is something that we've been, to a certain degree, programmed with. If you live too much in the past or live too much in the future, then it creates fear. If you live in the present, then there's more chance to overcome any sorts of fear.
Okay.
Can I creating something, and then you're not getting sucked into that fear.
Nasalik, when you end, yes, go ahead, please. Sorry.
I think you should face your fears, and once you have faced them and you have conquered them, you can help to become a better person.
That's good, but how you face your fear?
Okay, let's say you're scared of mowing the lawn, for argument's sake. You're scared of the lawnmower. You got to adapt to it, address it, mow the lawn to get over the fear.
Okay, let me tell you a small story, and let me tell you what I learned about fear and how I gain fear myself today, and what I do myself to gain fear. How I maintain my life always optimistic and always positive in above and beyond fear. I started working as a co-worker. I work as a co-worker. I was working for Melia Hotels 20 years. And during my I started from the beginning. I started from catches. I started as entertainment. I become a general manager. But I always in my mind had the idea that I can do more. There is something more that I can do. In the top of my mind, there is always something I can do more. And after 20 years, I decided to open my own company. My own company called JSK Mind. My name, Mind. And I spoke with my wife, and she said, why don't you go for it? And it was 2011, and I started my company. And I was very excited about it, and I opened my website. And on my website, you can see the customer experience designer, service excellence trainer, team building trainer, leadership trainer, leadership workshops, wedding organizer, divorce party. I did many things at the same time, and they stopped me one day in custom in Miami, and he asked me, the guy, what you exactly do? What kind of job you do? I said, sugar cake. If I start telling him what the kind of job I do, I'm going to spend 1 hour there. And I start telling him the story. And in my mind, I realized that big BS. I didn't even buying myself. I didn't even believing in myself, what I'm saying, because it was confusing to me. And he got bored. When he got home, I asked my wife, I said, listen, Aneesa, do you think if you open my website, my business is clear for the customer? She said, no, you're not clear. I said, why you didn't tell me before? She said, because you had a lot of illusion and you were very enthusiastic about it. I want you to ask me the question, because if I tell you, you won't accept it. And I made the question, and I realized that I put many things because it was a fear of failing. My biggest fear, it was failing. We always fear of failing. Why my fear of failing? Because I was salarial for 20 years. I was getting money at the end of the month. Every month I get my money at the end of the month in my bank. I have nothing to fear about it. But now I have to create and make money myself. And it was a big fear of failing. And I learned from that the following, that, let me show you, let me jump to my sorry. And I learned that, I went too far. What I have here, sorry, okay. I learned that the more you know about yourself and your journey, the less you have to say. The more you have to act, the more intentional you are. The better you become, and you follow your path. That's the idea. And what I learned, that fear, failing is always an option in life. Fear can never be an option. Never ever can be an option. That's why fear, let me put it on your screen. Fear is always an option. Failing is always an option. Fear can never be an option. And avoid fear. You cannot avoid fear. You have to listen to your fears. Many people, they say you have to embrace fear. No, You don't have to embrace fear. You have to listen to your fear to understand yourself. And what you have to do every day in your life, a maintenance, how you become stronger than your fears. And how you do that? By training, by reading, by getting webinars, by learning from other people, by listening to other people, but always with positive people, not with negative people. If you're stuck with negative people, instead of becoming the best of you, you become the worst of you. You have to always listen to positive people, that they will help you enhance your life and help you go above and beyond your fears. That's what I learned from my fears, and that's how you can make it. In my first topic that I want to share with you, that failing is always an option. Fear can never be an option. Let me jump on the next one. Who would like to answer? I said, well, who would like to answer to Carlos? Carlos, in this moment, he asked me, he said, Johnny, Carlos, he lives with me, he cut me my hair. I said, what is your biggest fear, Carlos? And he said, my biggest fear, today we are living in a world of fear. And he said, let me just open this. Okay. He said, my biggest fear is failing with my company. He has 13 retail stores. And he's not able to make more money. He's scared that when everything open, when the market is opening, how I'm going to make money? How I'm going to be able to make money? The market is falling. He's not able to pay salaries, and it hurts him when he have to fire people from their job. And he told me that I have 56 years age. No one will hire me anymore. My retail business is not going too far, and I won't get back to my feet until July 2021. If I don't start making money on September, I don't know how I can keep going. I have to look for a job. What would you answer, Carlos? Who can tell me? What would you answer, Carlos? What would be the answer for Carlos? Who can help you with that? Who have an answer for Carlos?
I would basically say that that yes, there's always something else that's waiting for us. So you can sort of work towards, our creativity often kicks in when we're pushed against the wall. So sometimes that, allow other ideas to come up, and sometimes, maybe it's like a seed, and then you nurture it and you water it and you plant it, and then it'll grow and something else will come along. But I also believe that at one point, sometimes we tend to want to control things, and sometimes you have to let go and allow for the natural process to take place, and to trust that. It's not what everybody wants to hear, but I believe it.
Okay, when you have those kind of thoughts, you have to treat your mind as a big liar. And you have to be careful what you put. Fears, they are lie. They talk about the future. They are not talking telling you the good things is happening. They are talking to you about the future, what you said before. Or they are talking to you about the past. Then they are lying at you. You have to treat fear as a liar. That's the first rule. The second rule to do, you have to connect with the power within yourself. You have to do that and connect with the power within yourself and find a way to win, not find a way to lose. And you have to be careful what you put in your tongue. Be careful the words you are putting inside your tongue. Don't say things that I will fail in that, I cannot make money, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. You are focusing, your subconscious mind is focusing 100% on how much you can fail, not how much you can be successful. If you focus, your subconscious mind is 95% above your conscious mind. Then if you are focusing on subconscious mind all the time, you will fail. You have to treat your second mind, your second brain that is eating your subconscious mind as a liar. And I asked him, what I told him is, you have to find in all your company that you have 13 stores, which one of the 13 stores is your biggest success. When you find your biggest success, delete all the rest. close all the rest that you have. You're wasting energy and you're wasting time. Many times what we do, we focus on many things at the same time, and we forget that one of them is the most successful one. And we forget about it because we want to do many things. We want to do this, we want to do that, and we want to do this. And we forget that the better, when we are good at something, if I'm good, I'm going to tell you the story of the next story will tell you exactly. For example, in the first story I've told you, when I opened my company, and I deleted everything in my website, and I was scared of failing. And I deleted everything in the website. I created only one website because my wife, she asked me, what you are good at? I said, I'm good at customer experience. She said, then you are a customer experience designer. And in the moment I written down a customer experience designer, I start making money. One title, one goal, one objective, one vision, not 100 visions at the same time. I deleted everything I know and I focus on the best I know, the better I know. I'm good in customer experience design, and I start designing experiences for my customers. The first year I made $3,000 only because I was focusing on many things. The second year I doubled my income from being a salary. Second year, and the third and fourth year, now I'm in the year number 9, sorry. And my company is very successful. My company is $1 million a year. And I could take my company from making $3,000 to $1 million. How I can make it? Because I avoid fear. I treat fear as a liar, and I focus on only one thing, on the biggest I love, on the thing I love only. And that's how I succeed in my company. And the best thing to do it is you have to say to your mind always one thing. The first thing is say always to your mind that it is possible. Always do that. Don't say I cannot do it. Say it is possible. And you have to say as well, I will become the best me. And I will play full out. Why I will play full out? Let me give you a small tip about why you play full out. This why play full out, I learned it long time ago. It's you have to put an anchor in your mind, and a positive anchor. What's the meaning of an anchor? I do this with my training. I do play full out. Do it yourself, you will see, but hit yourself. Play full out. When you have a negative mind, negative illusions and negative thoughts, go back to yourself, sit down and say, I'm going to play full out. I don't care about my liar mind. I'm going to play full out. It's possible. I will become the best me. You have to be able to delete a bit what is negative around you. Let me tell you the story about how I played full out. I played full out when you play full out before. When you play full out, you feel... no, sorry, this one's not coming. When you play full out, I am committed. I am so focused on my vision. I am consistent. I show up like you show up. I'm open mindset. I devote time to learn more and become best me. Let me tell you the story of my past and how I played full out. 3 years after opening my company, I was about to go bankruptcy, and I lost. I was making money, but the cash flow, it was very, very low, and I moved my company from the Dominican Republic to United States, and the United States is very expensive, and Miami is very expensive, and I start not losing money, but I don't have enough money to sustain the company. And I have only one solution. Or I find a big company looking for workshops for many hotels and many retailers, or I close my business and I go back as an employee. And many companies start calling me to come back as a general manager. And I spoke to my wife, and she said, hey, stop what you're doing. You fight a lot. You work 20 years. You dare to open your company, and you went above your fears. Why now you want to throw the towel? Keep going, be consistent, and go for it. And play it full out, as you always said. Play it full out. I said, okay. I raised the phone. I start calling my customers, and at the phone, I got Cecile from Melia actually, and Cecile, she said, "Listen, Johnny, we are looking we're looking for a workshop that covers diversity culture, team building, leadership, emotional intelligence in one workshop. And we're working with 2 companies in Canada, actually. 2 companies in Canada, they are working since 3 months with it, and they're going to present the project soon, on Friday. Would you like to present it on Friday? It was Monday. I said, yes, I would love to do it. I said I would love to do it, but inside my mind, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I have no idea what I'm going to present. I have no idea what the competency is preparing. I have nothing. I just have titles. I have titles, workshop for leadership, for emotional intelligence, diversity culture, and they're going to do the first trial in Jamaica. And all those things, all those topics in only one workshops, 1-day workshops. And I played it for art. Said yes. On Wednesday, Cecile called me. She said, Johnny, you cannot present the project on Friday. You have to present it on Thursday morning. I said, I cannot do it. I have a baby of 18 months. My wife is outside the country, and I cannot do it. I cannot do it, unfortunately. She said, bring your daughter with you. I said, okay. I put my daughter under my arm. I bring the iPad, 2 bottles of milk, the mat, and I went to the office half an hour before. I prepared everything. I put her under the table. I said, please don't screw up. And the 7 ladies came in to the meeting, and the first thing I said, listen, ladies, as you see, my assistant is under the table. She's taking notes. Anything I say that is not awkward or is not doesn't belong to that conversation or it's not correct, my assistant is going to shout. They laughed at this time, and I connect emotionally with them. And 1.5 hours, my daughter was calm. And when it came the time for the time for money, I made the offer, and she said, hey, stop, John, you are too expensive. I cannot take you. Unfortunately, you are too expensive. I like your project, but I cannot take you. I said, wait a second, Cecile. My competency is offering you 8 hours. I'm offering you 4 hours. My competency is offering you all the topics in 8 hours and absorbing 8 hours of your stuffing. I'm absorbing 4 hours of your stuffing and offering you the same topics. Do you agree that I'm making the difference? And do you agree that I'm making you gain time? And she said, yes. I played off everything. And when I did the presentation, believe me, I was doing something, topics and the presentation I was doing, I didn't have the content of how I'm going to do the workshop. I only had the titles, what I'm going to do, and I was having a big picture of how I'm going to do it, but only in my mind, but I never did it before. I played it full out. And I used as well persuasion. I used my body language. I said, my competency, I pushed the competency outside. My competency is offering 8 hours. The attraction to me, I'm offering you 4. My competency is offering you the same 8 hours, taking 4 hours more from your stuff. I'm taking you 4 hours less. And I moved my head down, and at the same time, my daughter clapped, and I signed the contract. I played full out. And let me show you, that's a picture of my daughter with the meeting. And I get my company succeed, and I signed all the hotels in America. And I could go above and beyond my fears and took the company to the next level. And I become the best you. When you become the best you have to play full out. You have to take risks. If you don't take risks, you are stuck. You have you cannot read the label if you are, you cannot read the label if you are stuck inside the box. If you are stuck inside the box, you cannot read the label. That's why I went outside the box and I created a new box. Many people, they say, I'm going outside the box. Don't go outside the box. Create your own box. Always create your own box. And when I did the presentation, I didn't give them a suggestion. I give them a recommendation. If you want to become the best you, never give a suggestions. Suggestions are for rookies. Recommendations are for experts. Don't do that. Don't give suggestions to anyone. If you work in agency, if you are working in sales, if you're working on anything, suggestions are always for rookies. They are not solid. Recommendations are very solid. Okay, going to the next topic. the next topic is live your greatest potential. That's very interesting because how do you live your greatest potential? Who can tell me how you can do it? How you are able to live your greatest potential?
I think it's by going out on a limb and trusting your gut feeling. To really, if there's something inside that keeps on pushing you to do it, you do it. You, even if maybe logic says, oh, maybe I won't make as much money, maybe I won't be able to do this. I think your inner voice, your inner guidance doesn't fail. It's your intuition, and that's what you need to trust.
Okay, I like that. I love that. And I give you a highlight of what I always use. If I want to go and live my greatest potential, you have to go out of your comfort zone. You have to do that. And you have to change your habits. If you want to become your best you have to discover what are the habits that are wasting your time, what are the habits that you don't like really, and you know that.
Did we lose you?
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's we've lost the connection or something.
Yes.
Maybe I'll leave a chat.
No, he's fixing his screen.
What's that?
He's fixing his screen so he can show the slides.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fixing it now.
Okay.
I see it, yeah.
You can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I don't know what happens, but and then what we're saying that you have to go outside your comfort zone to be able to live your greatest potential. And there is something else. And when am I in my top level of when you have to ask yourself the following: when am I in my top level of enthusiasm, energy, and happiness? That's a good question you have to ask yourself. If you are able to ask yourself that question, you have to ask yourself as well, what do you enjoy the most doing? What do you spend hours and since minutes to you? What makes you feel alive? When I am in the happiest moment? Those questions are very important. Why? Many people, they don't know their archetype. They are confused about the meaning of archetype. And I always tell them that knowing your archetype is very important because you have to know really your purpose of life. And it's very difficult to know your purpose of life. It's not easy. Many people, they are very stressed about knowing the purpose of life. Don't be stressed about it. I learned about the purpose of my life at the age of 47. And that was many years ago. That was 8 years ago. But I made those questions to myself. I asked those questions to myself. When I am on the top level of enthusiasm, energy, and happiness, even if you complain about your job, but if you do things with passion and your results is optimistic, then you are achieving your potential, and you are achieving in reality what you want in life, and you are achieving your archetype. You are learning about your archetype. The next question that you have to do is, what would I do professionally to be on the path that leads to my greatest potential? It can be professionally or personally. It doesn't mean professionally only. That's a very important question to do it to yourself. And the most important one that I always said, I always ask everybody, what is holding you back? What is holding me back? Why I'm not doing it? There is no excuses. The only thing is holding you back is not going outside your comfort zone. That's what you are not doing, because you don't go out your comfort zone, and you are not reaching you cannot reach your goal. And you have to ask yourself what it takes to start doing what I really want to do. And what are the first steps I need to take to get started? Go step by step. I'm going to give you a small example where I do. I used to put Post-it. I use Post-it everywhere. But I have only one message on the Post-it. It's my goal. I put it everywhere. I put it in the toilet. I put it in the bathroom, in the kitchen, on the fridge, in my car. Every day I remind myself what is my goal, what is my vision, where I'm going. And every day I have a small book that I open at night time. What I did today to achieve that goal, to become best me. I did something today that it goes to my goal. I did something today really, even if you did 1% of your effort or 2%, you already did something. It's not the time that you're going to achieve it. It's doing something to make it happen. If you don't do it, you won't make it happen. Then you have to do something. You have to play it full out. You have to play full out to make it happen. Become the best you is a way of becoming positive. Positive is the lemma. That's the third one. That's the last one that we're going to talk about today. And after I give you a recap how to use your workbook. That's a personal story that I want to share with you, that what I learned from that, and I have a big lesson behind, and hopefully helps you become the best of you, and you see how much effort there is and how much sacrifice there is. Positive, I call it positive because my wife, Vanessa, they call her positive because she's been working for 25, she worked for 25 years for Melia Hotels International, and she always signed positive in all her emails and messages and WhatsApp. Everybody calls her positive. When you say positive, everybody knows that it's Vanessa Esteras in the company. And because she got a lot of energy, she's always positive with her energy, with her smile, with the way she talks. She always finds good things behind every defect. She never criticizes or judge. I learned a lot from her. And she does something very interesting. I have many ideas in my work and always come up with ideas. She never used the word but. She used the word and. Instead to say, if I come with the idea, and if you come with the idea and you say to somebody, hey, yes, I love your idea, but you don't love your idea. You don't love his idea. You hate the idea when you say but to somebody. She always used the word and. Listen, Johnny, your idea is good, and you can do this, this, and this. What she's bringing a lot of knowledge to the idea. She's enriching my idea, and she's letting me see what I can do better inside my idea, but not criticizing or judging my idea, not destroying my idea. If you say but, you destroy the ideas. And Vanessa, we've been together since 94, long time. And the first thing I learned with her is being the best you isn't only about what you achieve in your work, it's about how you achieve it. It's about how you behave with yourself and how you behave with the people around you. How you connect emotionally with yourself and how you connect emotionally with others. How you embrace changes. We hate changes. We hate what's going on today. We hate it. We're doing everything online. It's my first webinar. I never did a webinar in my life. I never did a live webinar in my life. I don't know how I'm doing it, but I'm trying my best. But believe me, I never did it. And the first one is transform our mindset. I learned that from her because she always talk about mindset, open mindset, open mindset. And I said, oh, why you always say open mindset? She said, because you always have to find the positive things inside the negative things. Otherwise, we are all the time finding negative things, and we waste a lot of energy and time on it. And that's that's very strong of her. Now, the question, are we able to stop criticizing and judging? No, we are not able. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to do it. But if you are able to do it, if you are able to do it in a positive way, then it enhances your life. You become best. You become best you. Let me keep going with the story of my life. That's was my wife. That's my wife. That's me and my wife. We met a long time ago in Palma de Mallorca, and after a long time together, they called her. I was in Dominican Republic giving a training, and they called her to the hospital. I went with her, and in 3 words, they told her, "Vanessa, you have cancer." And the day that they told her that you have cancer, she told me, "Johnny, take me to your barber. I want to shave my hair." I said, "Why you want to shave your hair?" I said, "I want to go about before my hair fall down. I want to shave all my hair. I want to go further." I said, "Okay." I took her to the barber. That's the experience. That's my wife in the hospital. That's the barber. Yeah, my daughter is picking up the hair from the floor and trying to stuck the hair on her head. My daughter is in the spectrum of autism. She cannot speak. She cannot transmit the words, but she transmits emotions. She was crying because she couldn't understand why mom is shaving her hair. And she was picking the hair from the floor to try to put it on her head. And the thing that Vanessa, she kept with her life. She kept going with her life, and she kept going out. She kept working, and we were going out. If you call her to go out, she always goes out with everyone. And she was always positive with everything. Positive all the time, positive. Whatever it takes, she's always positive. Her best friend is Connie. Connie, she works with Paradisus, with her, the brand. And Connie, unfortunately, she passed away 1 year ago, from 1 year and 2 months ago. She passed away from cancer. When she got the diagnosis of cancer, she was Vanessa taking her to the hospital. And after Connie, she was taking Vanessa to the hospital. And they are the best sister. They are sister and soul. They love each other, and they're sister and soul. And they always spoke and they joke about cancer and always use the word F, cancer. But they always showed positive energy, and they're always around with positive things. 10 months after, that was the doctor called her. He said, "Vanessa, you're done." I said, "What?" He said, "You're done. And go and ring the bell." And she went.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, I'm the only one here. You're the only one here. We have a lot of people watching. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, everybody. Oh. Oh, good.
Una,
good.
dos, tres. Way.
Vanessa did ring the bell, and we went with her families and her friends, and we went everywhere to celebrate her legacy and everything. You know why I said legacy? She passed away 2 months ago. After ringing the bell, suddenly she went at the hospital 3 months ago with clots in her lungs, and she got complicated and she passed away. And before passing away, she gave me a smile, and I asked him, "Hey, Vance, do you feel this?" Because she knew about it. She knew all the time that she's going to leave. And she said, "No, I don't feel this." I said, "What do you want me to do?" She said, "Just do what you always did." And I learned something very important before I read the legacy. I learned something very important from her. During her sickness, I was all the time complaining because I was at the beginning, the first 3 months, I was complaining with her. I said, "You have to eat better, you have to walk, you have to drink, you have to go do exercise, you have to diet, you have. And I learned that my behavior in my mind, my behavior was positive because I was trying to help, but in reality it was negative because I couldn't understand how sick she was and how much she was suffering. But she was, as a positive person, she never transmits how much suffering. She always transmits positive energy. And I learned that sometimes we have to speak less and listen more and listen to the details, and not only speak less and listen more. Be aware what's going on around us and be aware of all the small details and small signs. She was always telling me one message: you and Chiara, you will be fine. She was giving me the message from the beginning. I didn't listen to the message. And at the end, when I started listening to the message after 3-4 months, I told her, "Vanessa, I have something to tell you." She said, "What?" I said, "Whatever the doctor says, whatever I say, we don't do it. We'll do what you say and do what you feel. If you want me to do whatever you want, I will do what you decide, not what I decide." She decided not to put tubation. She decided to fight by herself. She left with a smile on her face. And her legacy is a positive perspective of everything in your life, a little more gratitude, and a willingness to give a little more than we normally do, both to ourselves and others, can help us find a deeper sense of our purpose of life. What she meant by this is that the only way to succeed and to go above and beyond everything is listening, is empathy, understanding is helping, serving is who you are. We are in the world, we are born to serve all our life. You work on the hospitality business, you serve people all the time. We are born to serve. And if you do that, you become the best you. Believe me, you become the best you. Okay, we're short of time. I'm going to jump very fast. What you're going to see on the next thing is what will you commit to doing now? That's the question that you have to do yourself. And let me tell you about the workbook. How I created the workbook. The workbook was created in the hospital with my wife. I created the workbook with my wife, and if you see I'm not crying, you know why? Because she taught me to be positive and to smile. When I was in church, talking about herself and talking about our story, what we lived together, and she's the love of my life. 30 years together we've been, with a daughter that we have today, and my daughter is suffering but she's smarter than me. She showed me love, and she knows that she have to be next to me, and she cannot talk. She still cannot talk. She's 5 years old. And what I learned is very important. What I learned, first of all, is the following: is what will you commit to doing now? Not tomorrow, not after tomorrow, not yesterday. Now, what you committed to do. In many occasions, what we do is, like Monday. We hate Monday. Everybody hates Monday. Most of us, not everybody. Most of us hates Monday because we say, on Monday I start my diet. On Monday I'll start going to the gym. On Monday I start becoming best me. On Monday I organize my desk. On Monday I organize my desktop. On Monday. When it comes Monday, you are so stressed out. then everything that you decided to do on Monday, you do the opposite. You do exactly the opposite. And I was sharing that with my wife at the hospital the last 3 weeks together. And she said, let's work on a workbook. And that workbook, we work with it together. And I was sharing the workbook with her that I'm going to send it to you at the end of the session. I believe that MediaPro will send it to you as a PDF, interactive PDF, and you can work on that. The workbook is an assessment where you do a 5-6 assessment very easy. And after the assessment, you have action plan based on the results of the points that you got. If you got 60 points, maybe in emotions, then you have to work on changing the habits of your emotions, changing the habits of your work or your leadership. And after the assessment and the results, you have the habits. You have only 3 of them. You have to use 3 habits. And once you do the habits, you do a contract, a commitment with yourself. And you sign a contract with yourself and you share it with your best friend, or you can share it with me. I will be very happy to do it. And what you do is those people that you shared with them, they are committed to call you and to make sure that you are following your new habits, your new 3 habits. We call it declaration. And finally, by committing to new habits now, you have placed yourself in the threshold of better than best you. And you don't get in life what you want. You get in life what you are. I will add something to that. It's not about how much you have. It's about who you are. It's not about how much you have or how much you achieved. It's about who you are. Reflect of that, think of it, and when you know who you are, you become your best you. And finally, that's my thanks to everyone. I say, create every moment in your life, create the experience, and design your own legacy. That's all, guys. We still have 8 minutes. I don't know if you want to make any question. I went a bit fast. I don't know if I went slow. I went fast. I could give you some values. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, and it will be good for me to learn from you. Go ahead.
Hi, Johnny. You really had some very nice points there. We're all very sorry. It was very tearful for me to listen to about your wife. But you really came out on top, and we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's my first webinar. I don't know if I can connect because it's not easy to connect with the camera. Believe me, it's very difficult. Okay, who wants to share something else?
Do you ever go and offer these presentations? Like, say, do you come to Canada or to the States? Like, do you go all over and do these presentations and leadership programs, or?
Yes, I travel all over the world. I travel all over the world, and I do training on how to enhance customer experience, for leadership, for emotional intelligence, for how to connect with your customers, NLP, sales negotiation, things like that. You can go on my website. You can check on my website many things, and I will be happy. I will travel all over the world. Actually, my company is based. I have two I have 2 companies. One based in Spain and the other one based in Miami.
What's the name of it? What's the website?
It's cxacademy.es. cxacademy.es. You have it on the screen or not?
No.
Oh.
Well, not on my screen. Maybe others see it. I don't see much on my screen.
Should I type it in for you?
Okay, let me see why it's not. The slide is they freeze I got freezed.
Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to share again if you don't mind.
Okay.
Stop, and I'll share again my screen then to see, because it seems that share screen. Let's see if I'm lucky to do it again. It seems that it went out. Yeah, my company. I'm back. That's good.
Okay, there it is.
That's my company is cxacademy.es. You can go there and you can see about the company, about the website. And I will going to send you a PDF of the workbook. Then you can interactive workbook. Then you can. I will share it with Melia Pro. Melia Pro will send it to all the customers. Even the people that didn't join, I would be happy that they got the workbook as well. Adam, I don't know if they are able to get it. And that's it, guys. I don't know if we finished. We have 5 minutes. You have any question? You need me to you have anything that you need me to tell you? Let me just give you something that I use a lot. I use a lot in the way of fears. You have to get distracted. Your mind have to get distracted to avoid fear. You have to get your mind distracted. And how you get your mind distracted? Go and look for people. There is a lot of people that their speech, they could give a good speech online and everything. There is a lot as well of BS. Look for the authentic people, the old people that they are the trainer of the trainers. Who are the trainer of the trainers? You have Jim Rohn. I don't know if you know Jim Rohn. Jim R-H-O-N. Jim Rohn, he's amazing. You can learn a lot of him. You have a good leadership like Marshall Goldsmith. The 20 Habits of Marshall Goldsmith. You have like Les Brown, he's motivated. At the same time, listening to Les Brown is very good because Les Brown, he's the coach of the coachee. Jim Rohn, he's the first coach of the world. He's after Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill is one of the best coaches as well. But Jim Rohn, he's the coach of Tony Brown, Anthony Browns, all those people that they come out now lately. They are very famous because they took courses with Jim Rohn before. He's the master of the coaching.
Did you take courses with Jim Brown?
I took course with Les Brown.
Okay.
Not with Jim Rohn. I took courses and there is one guy that he's student of Andy Enriquez. He's very good as well. Those people, they are very, very good. And after getting distracted, you have to you have to get distracted from your inner voice. Get always distracted from your inner voice. And how you get distracted from your inner voice? Listening to people like Jim Rohn. Listen to them every day. Don't waste your time watching TV and whatever. And read books about positive books that brings to your mind, reminds you who you are. That reminds you who you are. Then you start remembering and getting back to yourself and to become your best you.
But Johnny, is it get distracted of your inner voice or the voice in your head? Because your inner voice is more your heart, your soul that tells you, to follow your dreams. And then the little voice in our head is that negativity, the program.
Yeah, I agree. The inner voice, what I mean, the universe in your second brain. We call it the saboteur brain.
Yes.
The saboteur brain. That saboteur brain, if we can record it, it's impossible to record it. It's all day long talking to you. It's all day long to you. That's why we have to distract ourselves with positive things that can remind us who we can become, not who we cannot become. And that's all, guys. Thank you very much for your time. I don't know, I hope to see you soon, and I hope to see you in...
Well, Johnny, one last thing. Someone asked you, what is your favorite book you recommend? Just before you leave, can you tell us?
Oh, Sugar Cake. I have... Let me see. I cannot see the chat. Okay, I read something. If you want to read, what do you want to read? That's the question, because it depends. For example, if the last one I read is about what gets you here won't get you there, of Marshall Goldsmith. A very interesting book about leadership. It talks about habits. Why it's important to talk about habits? Because we hate to change our habits. And what he talked about, something very interesting, he talked about feed forward. We always talk about feedback. We don't want to talk about feedback. We want to talk about feed forward. When we give recommendation to someone, we give them a feed forward. We don't give them a feedback. When you talk about feedback, it's in the past. When you give a feed forward, you're giving something positive, something new for them. I recommend this book now. If you send me an email, I will be happy to send you different kind of books in inspiration and self-motivation and leadership and emotional intelligence. I have many, many books that I can recommend.
Okay, well, thank you very much for offering this presentation today. It was very interesting.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone.